the Big Ten tournament? Because a lot of times teams, for some reason, they seem to be better off when they lose games going in the tournament. They don't have all the pressure, especially undefeated teams. Even though obviously Michigan's not an undefeated team. But last night was just a beatdown.
It was.
A beatdown, and I imagine your wife, an Illinois graduate, gave you a little grief last night, huh?
I was having a hard time watching the game, so I turned it off for a few minutes, hoping that I might change the mojo of the game. I walked around, I got things ready for this morning, got some clothes set out, and then I went to bed, and I laid down in bed, and my wife wasn't watching the game. I knew I was walking into a trap. And I said, hey, what's the score of the game? And she goes, I don't really know. I know that Illinois was.
It's a crap.
Yes. And so I walked right into it. And then when the game was over, she did a little victory dance and all those things. And she's like, are you can't even be a little bit happy for me? I said, no. Not at all.
Not when they beat you. If they beat somebody else, you would.
Yeah, I told her that. I said, if this had been anybody else
right.
in the Big Ten, anybody else in the country, I would be more than happy for you. I was happy when Lovie Smith and the Fighting Illini beat the Wisconsin Badgers 2 years ago. I celebrated with you, but I'm not going to celebrate this one.
There's not a lot of hate between teams with Illinois because they just, certain years they're okay, they're just there, I mean.
Conference fillers.
Exactly. They are a conference filler. Although they're better than some of the others at times, but especially football. They're just conference fillers is a great term, Greg. So anyway, so they get the crap kicked out of them, John.
Yeah.
And in any way, I mean, they couldn't shoot, they couldn't penetrate, they had a hard time defending most of the game. I don't know. Do you take anything away from this where this could be troublesome down the road? The only way I look at it is if they play a team that has a dominant or a really good big man again, where they can funnel Michigan's offense to that guy and not create a lot of space for Michigan's offense. Because Michigan's offense, without space is not very good unless they're playing a team where Dickinson can dominate, and that did not exist last night.
No, it didn't. But, you know what? I'm not concerned because when you look at the Big Ten, this is going to happen when you continue to play an all-conference schedule here, that it's going to happen. The Big Ten is so tough. Can you look at the top of the Big Ten? Right now, Michigan's still at the top. They're number 2 in the country. Illinois, the team they lost to, number 4. Number 5 is Iowa. Number 7 is Ohio State. 23 is Purdue. 25 is Wisconsin. You've got 6 ranked teams in the Big Ten. And
Wisconsin's really puke.
Yeah, they are. But I'm just telling you what they are.
I know.
And so it's when you run through the Big Ten, and even I used to work with I forget his name now. John, former Penn State
Crispin.
John Crispin. Yeah. And he used this comment, and I think it's really true, especially this year. A lot of times you talk about how deep a conference is from top to bottom, but when you look at how good this one is from bottom to top, yeah, you have your 1 or 2 teams at the bottom, but really everybody else can step up at some point during the season and beat a top-ranked team. We saw it with Minnesota, who's currently 4th from the bottom. They found a way at home to beat Michigan earlier in the year in the barn. Michigan State is that team this year, and it's only this year, that they're middle of the pack in the Big Ten. A little bit less than middle of the pack. They're underneath Rutgers and Maryland. But I really believe, especially what we saw them do against Ohio State, with what we saw them do against Illinois, that they're a team that could jump up and beat you at any point. So in the Big Ten, when you have a game like Michigan had last night, am I running for the doors, screaming fire and everything as the sky is falling? Absolutely not.
248-539-9797. Let's say good morning to Lou. What's up, Lou?
What's going on? Listen, we don't need to feed too much to last night's game. It was just a bad game. When your top 3 players play like crap, you're going to get your tails whooped.
Yep.
And I don't think we have to worry about the coaching staff, a whole lot of... This team has played phenomenal all year. They've done what they do. last night was just a bad game. I knew we were in trouble when Dickinson started out slow, and then he went to the free throw line and break both of them. I knew then we were in some sort of trouble. But, you know, I've always felt like going into the NCAA tournament, the conference tournament, it seems like it's kind of refreshed. You hate to lose, but you can see that silver line of refreshing yourself. But when you go into, you're running out of room for error. And when you're on this 10, 11, 12 game win streak, now all of a sudden you can't lose a game. You can't drop a game. And that's pressure. I think that this young group will regroup. We'll see what Coach Howard and the staff. This is the worst game Howard has since he's been at Michigan.
Yeah, the one thing, Lou, I didn't like, and I said this earlier in the program, I don't know if you're listening, but I didn't like what the coaching staff did was, I thought Mike Smith should have played more in the first half, even though he wasn't playing great. He's the only one, at least to me, can maybe penetrate.
Lou is exactly right. He called in a week ago after the Ohio State game, and they looked the greatest they looked since they've been under Howard. And then it's how they respond to this. Tonight, the last night can be a wash, but it's about how they respond. Now, if this starts trickling down into these rivalry games against Michigan State, then you might raise an eyebrow.
Well, hey, Lou, let me ask you this. Would you consider this a good loss?
I don't use the word good with a loss, but I think
Thank
there's
you. He
a
was
silver
setting
lining
you
ball.
up, Lou. Thank you
I was
very
just
much.
asking. I wasn't setting up.
Oh, you were setting up because you knew I was going to go
I don't think it's a
said.
good loss, but I do think it's one of those losses where we can refresh ourselves and get refocused. Sometimes when you're winning and you keep winning, you kind of, I don't want to say eyes off the prize, but you kind of lose focus. And you think you're supposed to just show up and win. They got their tails whooped. Now it's time to refocus and regroup.
All right, thanks a lot. As always, Lou, appreciate the calls. All right, 248-539-9797. Because Lou was talking about the silver linings, and that's why I asked him the question, because I thought maybe he was going to go there.
But Lou's been a long time caller.
No, I know.
Contributor to sports radio in this town.
Absolutely.
There was no way Lou was going there.
Dodger Lou. You're a big Dodger fan, if I'm not mistaken.
Stoney knew I was going to blow my top.
Well,
if
okay.
he said,
but there might be some others. So hold on. So coming up next.
Okay, John, wait. Just quick. John, more upset about good loss or the Lions taking that Notre Dame JOK guy?
Oh, dude, good luck. The good loss thing absolutely makes my head explode.
All right, 248-539-9797. Is there ever a good loss? 97 minutes.
Hey, out there, I want you to look out. We were talking earlier about the great weather and the fact that at about 8:30, I'm going to poke my head out. I'm going to see some sunshine again today. When you look out your window, you look at your front lawn, do you see or do you hope to see that lush, beautiful green lawn, the best lawn on your street? And it may seem like a long way off. It may not be that way right now, but it's closer than you think, and the time to prepare is right now, because the company that can make that possible is Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. If you want to beat that crabgrass, grubs, insects this year, don't wait, because it's easier to prevent the problem than it is to fix it. The first application is vital. Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service is going to assign your lawn its own specialist and create a custom tailored solution specifically for your yard and home. They're going to tackle all the issues using fewer chemicals and environmentally sound practices. Natural Way has been a locally owned and operated for 3 decades. You can reach them at 888-GET-GREEN and on the web at naturalwaylawn.com. Act now, because for a limited time only, purchase a full lawn program and get free grub control and free surface insect control. But you got to mention my name, John Jansen, and the ticket. That number again, 888-GET-GREEN or at naturalwaylawn.com. Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. Get green, stay green with Natural Way.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. No reports of accidents on your drive this morning, and things are still pretty quiet through the 75 work zone, as you'll find only 2 lanes are open both directions between 7 and 13 Mile. There's also a traffic shift in place on the southbound side near 13 Mile. Later today, planned road work scheduled to block the left lane, 75 southbound at 96 Michigan Avenue. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Text the ticket now. Ticket text 248-539-9797. to face COVID-19, we're now facing flu season. So to protect us all, let's hit this virus head on. Get your flu vaccine. Learn more at michigan.gov/flu. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Zach Gelb, the Radio.com Sports Minute. James Harden has been sensational with the Nets. Many mocked BK trading for Harden and didn't think Kyrie Irving, the Beard, and KD could coexist. I was for the trade, and even I'm surprised by how well Kyrie and Harden's relationship has been. And the scary part is, we haven't seen much of the trio together yet, but that's okay, as I was never really concerned about KD in this equation, but was only curious to see if James and Kyrie would play nice, and so far so good. Harden accepted Kyrie's demand that James will play the point, and he's putting up MVP-type numbers. In 22 games with BK, Harden is averaging 25.3 points per game, 11.3 assists, and 8.7 rebounds. Yes, Durant, when healthy, is the Nets' best player, but Harden is the most valuable to Brooklyn's success because he's making sure he and Kyrie are one big happy family. Now just don't disappear in the playoffs, James, and the Nets should be in the finals. I'm Zach Gelb.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. There it is. Nice work, man. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I gotta tell you, taking Nugenics makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenics? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right?
Oh yeah, this is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenics is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenics.
No problem. You just gotta send them a text. Text TIGER to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenics samples are not available in stores, so text TIGER to 321-321 right now. Text TIGER to 321-321. That's TIGER to 321-321.
Way down the line.
Whoa! Hammers. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. 54-50.
Came out of the clouds.
Sounds of the game, brought to you by Klipsch Premium Audio. Klipsch Premium Audio, the combination of thoughtful design, constant innovation, and premium materials creates the ultimate listening experience. Your music has never sounded so good. Klipsch, keepers of the sound.
Bet Rivers Sportsbook wants you to experience Rush Pay. When you want to cash out your winnings, you don't want to wait 2 days just to get the go-ahead to withdraw your money. That's why Bet Rivers created Rush Pay. With Rush Pay, 80% of withdrawal requests are approved instantly, meaning you'll get your money faster. Why wait? Get your cash when you want it. Bet with a winner. Bet with Bet Rivers Sportsbook at BetRivers.com. Must be 21. Playable in Michigan only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
Whether you're ready for your COVID-19 vaccine or looking for the right testing options for your family, our Kroger Health team of pharmacists and nurse practitioners are here to help. Our suite of solutions is one of the most comprehensive in the industry, trusted by frontline workers around the country. Visit Kroger.com/COVIDcare to learn more and schedule an appointment at a Kroger store near you.
I'm Adam Helfman from HireItDone.com. If you're in the market for a brand new roof, now's the absolute best time to buy because the prices have never been lower. For the best deal on a roof that doesn't leak, just head to HireItDone.com.
What are you waiting for? It only takes an hour for you to have your child's heart screened. Get your kid's heart checked at the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Details at 971theticket.com. Building a world-class sports station in a world-class sports city. 97.1 The Ticket. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
248-539-9797. Michigan obviously getting blown out yesterday at Chrysler, so that would not fall into the category of a good loss. It might be okay if they would have, lost a closer game. You could say, okay, whatever. This was just, I think, an aberration. They got the clocks claimed, whatever. Well, we were discussing, and I believe, John, it is a lot different if if you are a fan than an actual player. But you wrote in your email yesterday while Michigan was getting its clocks cleaned, like I said,
Teeth kicked in.
that you hope nobody will use the expression "good loss" because there is nothing there is no good loss.
No.
And for the most part, I would tend to agree with you. Although, see, you weren't with us then, but if you remember a couple of years ago when the Lions almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs, that was like the greatest loss in Lions history. But I digress. There are times where I think there might be a good loss, and it's very far and few between. And I'll just use a personal example. For instance, my pathetic alma mater, American University, sometimes plays really good teams preseason. So suppose they're playing, I don't know, Illinois, who they've played, or a nationally ranked team, and for some reason they really play well, for whatever reason, and they lose by 3 or 4 points. You know what? I'm so proud of them. They went in there. That's a good loss. That is a good loss, right?
Yeah, Stoney, I think you would be referencing the Villanova game in the 09 tournament.
Yeah, well, well, Villanova,
Except they had a big lead, didn't
Except they had a big lead. They were up 14 and blew the game. But yeah, they were basically a 15 seed or something like that. But yeah, in those situations, I think that is a good loss. Other than that, not so much.
Yeah, I would respectfully disagree. But I think, at that point, we're talking a little bit about the semantics. Maybe
Yes.
that's good for recruiting. Hey, we can compete with the bigger programs, the bigger teams. But, the issue that I have is there are lessons that you can learn from every game. And the takeaways from last night, or if you even go back to the loss that they had against Minnesota, sometimes when you win on a regular basis, the little things a coach may see and a coach may talk about, but the players may not receive the message because there was no consequence. And when now all of a sudden you lose, and not only do you lose, but you lose to a team that doesn't have their best basketball player, you lose to a team and you get your teeth kicked in at home. Now, what does that mean this year? Who really knows? But now some of those lessons, when Juwan Howard goes and watches the film and he points some things out, this is not a good shot. We could have created a better shot in this way if we had done this. And here are some of the things as a coach I could have done better. There are lessons that you can learn, and maybe that lesson gets home and it's actually learned. So there are positives you can take, but a loss is still a loss.
Let me ask you this: as a player, can you learn more from a loss than you can from an ugly win? Yeah, you know what? We skated by on that, so we won. So it doesn't register as much as if you lose.
No, because the embarrassment's still there. And that's really what it is. It's the fear of losing, and you hear this from a lot of the greatest of all time, the champions that we've seen. Their fear of losing is so great. It's better than the celebration or the feeling of victory, and that's what motivates them, because losing sucks. It doesn't matter if it's by 20, if it's by 1, if it's in overtime. It sucks every single time. And there are some lessons that you can learn from an ugly win, from a bad loss, from all of those different things. But when it comes down to it, it's all about the win and the loss.
Well, let me ask you, John. So the 97 team, we referenced it earlier, but you had your scare with Iowa. The Tim Dwight game, you're down 17-7 at the half. You rallied to win. I think it was 24-21. And it was, to me, the pivotal defining moment of the season. Do you think if that game didn't happen, do you think you would have